So here we are again, in another dimension of Doom, but in a reality not unlike our own. A world of endless foliage and paranoia twining into a terrifying and dense war zone. This is Vietdoom, the total conversion mod of Doom, pitting the player in one of the most controversial conflicts of the 20th century, where the descendants of the World War II GIs get drafted into the green hell that was the Vietnam War. The Doom guy himself also gets thrown into this mess. Doom in the past has benefited from some amazing mods, and Sergeant Mark IV's Brutal Doom, one of the most influential mods in the franchise, has also paved the way for many other mods to come after it, and has even influenced his future works as well. Case in point, Vietdoom. So what is this project? Well, it's a recreation of the Vietnam conflict within Doom, weapons from the US and the Soviets, and also the opposing forces involved in the conflict. No demons here this time, but man and brutality clashing together in Agent Orange and jungle warfare. Sergeant Mark IV was someone to have an interest in the Vietnam War, as well as taking inspiration from the game called Nam and Rising Storm Vietnam. Through the use of replicating the known conflicts and areas, the weapons and the tech used, even down to the tactics of the Vietnamese forces, this project would become a fast favorite for me. The Doom guy assaults his commanding officer, gets sent to Mars, fights off a demonic invasion all by himself, and what's his reward? Gets drafted into Vietnam to fight the NVA and the VC, with realistic weapon damage, bleeding effects, damage from being near napalm, and getting sniped by people in the trees. When you go into this game, you're going to have quite a surprise waiting for you, and it's that playing it like Doom is not an option. Enemies can and will hit you out in the open. If you have PTSD from Wolfenstein Mutants, then you'll be right at home here. The enemies are trigger happy with their rockets, and just when you think you've cleared the area, more squads are always happy to join the fray and hunt you down. The game has several classes that give you a certain loadout based on the class. First time around I went with the rifleman carrying the M16, and no, it didn't jam on me as far as I recall. Of course though, you're welcome to try a different class if you want to experiment with the other weapons, or if you want to be really cheap, use the give all command and see all of the weapons the game has available to you. But the intended experience of Vietdoom is that you have a limited loadout based on your class. If you want to pick up a different weapon, you'll have to drop your current one to get the other. You also have inventory access to food and water, something that you'll have to keep on top of during your missions, as well as your use of bandages. Vietdoom can be really unforgiving, especially on PTSD or realism mode, which I would not recommend during a first playthrough, where you die faster than you can blink. Each level has something different to offer with its objectives and still keeps the same theme and atmosphere intact. You're always on your guard. Even just going through the bushes is a roll of the dice, because you don't know if there are trip mines or tree snipers or nests of troops just waiting for your arrival. It's a paranoid game where you never know if you're going to take a significant hit, or when you really need that napalm or artillery strike to save your ass, or when you're low on Colt's ammo, you have to then use the enemy's weapons against them. Each weapon handles differently and has their own advantages. Snipers have great range, rifles are versatile, machine guns are great for suppression, and flamethrowers are, well... Anyway, some of the classes have access to different equipment, like the Engineer, where the wrench can be used to fix a tank or a chopper when it's taken too much damage. With the levels that are currently available, the classes alone encourage multiple playthroughs on top of the already well put together gameplay and level design that already exists within Doom. It's refreshing, honestly, to have a total conversion mod that sets itself in a historical setting rather than another sci-fi or fantasy setting. Vietdoom makes me want more of them made. The vehicles themselves are also really fun to use, with the tank and the chopper giving you a death machine for either in the land or in the sky, raining fire either way. Its health system works independently from the player, and this is where the wrench comes in handy. Otherwise, you'll have to go about your missions on foot. The violence is also amplified by having a gore system similar to Brutal Doom. Every shot or explosion has a devastating effect, and getting out of the area without bleeding is always a miracle. You generally fight the same enemies that have different weapons, sometimes with snipers, rockets, rifles, and machine guns, and sometimes the use of a grenade. Everyone here picks their poison, and it all ends in either blood or smoke, if you count the flamethrower and napalm strikes anyways. It was planned at one point to eventually have demons join the mix, which means that a future build of the game would be geared towards being like Doom eventually, with the demons infesting the battlefield. But for now, it's just the troops fighting it out in the jungle. For something that is just in a alpha state, with the latest being Alpha 3 from 2020, It's pretty content rich for what it is. Vietdoom has a fantastic array of weapons that reflect the Vietnam War setting. The maps are incredibly well done and truly encapsulate the chaotic nature of the jungle, and the feeling of uncertainty never goes away even when you reach the base camp or the urban areas in the game. Unfortunately though, it hasn't been updated for a while now, and that's because Brutal Doom and the developers' indie project Brutal Fate has taken priority. But Vietdoom is a project with amazing potential to be something more. It's not often we get retro-inspired historical games in this day and age, especially when the milsim and tactical shooters of today already satisfy that desire for historical warfare. But if you have an interest in the setting as well as having an interest in Doom modding, then Vietdoom is absolutely worth a playthrough. Just don't be careless with the use of napalm. Your squad mates won't exactly thank you if you turn the area into an inferno. Stay tuned, and thank you for watching.
Bullshit, I can't hear you!